Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of The County Seat. I'm your host, Chad Booth. Last week, we talked about wilderness and the impact a wilderness designation may have on counties. A recent study brought new light to the subject of the multiple use approach versus the wilderness approach to public lands. But there's another area that has great impact on the counties, and that is our state parks. With recent budget cuts, however, state parks are now looking at possibly having to close or transfer ownership of some of their parks. Are these feasible suggestions on how to deal with the shortfall in state parks? Well, let's take a look at some of them. Here with a report on that is Terry Wood.
A piece of Utah history, an iconic view, a chance to experience nature. In 1957, the state legislature created Utah State Parks as a way to capture all of these things and invite locals and visitors alike to find something memorable in the Beehive State. Over time, the system grew to 43 parks, some famous and well-traveled, others less so. With substantial budget cuts across Utah's legislature affecting everything from teacher salaries to construction projects, the state parks program was not left unscathed. The entire future of some parks is completely up in the air.
Their budget was cut, as I understand, from about $12 million down to a little over $6 million, and then almost $3 million of that goes away after the end of this year. And the intent language in their appropriations said that they needed to look at the possibility of local city or county governments running some of their state parks.
Seems like whenever there's budget crunches and money crunches, the state gets a cold and counties get pneumonia already.
Unfortunately, not all of the state parks are making money. A recent audit of state parks across Utah showed that the Territorial State House in Fillmore, Edge of the Cedars near Blanding, the Utah Field House of Natural History Museum near Vernal, plus the 9-hole golf course in Green River, are all money losers in the state park system. However, they are part of a much bigger picture, one that is particularly important to the communities that depend on these state treasures to draw tourists.
And those jobs that are lost at the state park level don't just impact state parks, they impact everyone. They impact the local grocery store, the local gas station, the local, all facets of the local community.
Minersville Park in Beaver County is one such example, where the county felt it was important enough to the local economy to keep the park open. Now, while that sounds simple enough, the process was complicated enough to give some communities pause.
I had to literally testify at a subcommittee hearing. There was a lot of facts, a lot of homework that we had to do, but in our estimation and to this day, we still think it's been the right thing for Beaver County.
Taking over ownership is not an option for many counties because the parks in question just plain aren't making money.
So we have the Fremont Indian State Park up Clear Creek Canyon. They came to us and said, you know, would you be interested in this? Could you take it over? And of course, financially, we can't. We don't have the curatorial expertise to run a museum like that. We don't have the funding.
These are state parks, these aren't county parks. These belong to the citizens of the state of Utah, much like the state capitol, which is a state park, belongs to everybody, not Salt Lake County. And so that's one reason why counties should not feel obligated to take them over. Plus the benefits really revert to the entire state.
They're not going to make money at it. We don't make money at our park, but it's a service that we provide to our citizens, and that's what we got to look. You've got to merit it and say, is it worth keeping it open?
For the county seat, I'm Terry Wood.
You know, Terry tells us that Utahns currently, or as of the last year before the most recent round of cuts, were each paying $2.42 of their tax dollars to fund state parks. And we will have a discussion with our guests here, a very broad selection of people on the issues, about state parks, their closures, and possible solutions on how we can ease the pain in a tight economy of maintaining Utah's gems in the state park system. We'll be back with the county seat in just a minute.
Fall in love with fall. Logan, Utah.
The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration. SITLA manages 3.5 million acres of Utah lands with the express purpose of furthering the education of Utah students while promoting local industry, oil and gas, even residential development, all at the same time. Through the careful use of trust lands, we distributed more than $22 million to Utah schools last year. The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration, building the state's permanent school fund.
What are the words that describe the perfect destination? Finding them all in one place is easy if you know where to look. Millard County in the heart of Utah offers ATV adventures, rock crawling events, art festivals, and nature at its most epic. Millard County, Utah. Find out what you've been searching for.
How would you spend an extra day in Utah Valley? Stay one more day. Visit utahvalley.com to make reservations. Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.